You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch. Like I said, y'all, I repeat, I am not a YouTuber. I am a Twitch streamer. Matter of fact, I feel like I am the best Twitch streamer in the whole freaking world. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know what I mean? The whole wide world. So like I said, for all my YouTube fellas and for all my YouTube gals, you know what I mean? If you want to follow your boy on Twitch, Twitch link is in the description down below. We got the boy that was attacked by a pack of sharks in front of his family. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Bit him to pieces. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what happened. You know what I mean? I don't know why people be surprised, you know, when you know, shark attacks happen. You know, it's the ocean. It's their home. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not surprised by this, you know. Very unfortunate what happened to them, but, you know, they don't come on land, so I feel like we shouldn't be in the ocean.
To a popular swimming spot by anglers, a deadly trail of animal blood poured into the sea is a direct path.
Look at this.
Swimmers and 10-year-old Steven Samples. A shark-feeding frenzy ensues, risking the lives of everyone involved. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. Welcome to Final Affliction.
Final Affliction, man.
It was Saturday, April 10th, 1968. Steven Samples
and his father
Milton headed down to the beach on Singer Island, Florida. The water was warm and calm. There were lots of families enjoying the seaside. Children were splashing about in the water or building sand castles on the beach. A group of teenagers stood a short distance away from the bathers. They were baiting long lines with freshly caught fish and casting them out to sea. They then jumped into a small boat and motored out into the water, pouring a bucket of animal blood out behind them. Unbeknown to the nearby swimmers, this trail of blood lured sharks to the area.
Yeah, they can smell blood, bro, from miles away, bro. Miles and miles away, bro.
Teenagers' aim was to then fish for the sharks for the rest of the day. As the sharks were enticed to the area, Steven and his father Milton stepped into the sea. Steven was keen to try out his snorkeling gear. He carried his fins down to the water's edge. As the sea gently lapped at his feet, he pulled the fins onto his feet. His father carried an inflatable air mattress under one arm and helped his son into the sea with the other. Whilst Steven pushed off from the beach and splashed about with his face beneath the surface, his dad lay on the air mattress.
Bro, you can be right here, bro. You can bleed just a little, bro. It's just how sharks is, bro, and just how they're made. Bro, you can be right here. I know how we go to the beach, bro. Like I said, for me, I don't go into the water. But, you know, for y'all that go to the beach, you know how you be right here. Everybody go to the front. You know, sharks be in the middle. Sharks even sometimes be right here. You know what I mean? Honestly. But you can be right here and bleed right here. That shark will smell your blood right here all the way down there. That's how like strong the miles and miles away. You can bleed a little right here. That shark will smell that blood right here from all the way down there. From all the way down there. Word up.
3 feet from the shore was a steep drop-off where the shallows gave way to deeper water. After half an hour or so, Milton called to his son that he was getting out. Steven lifted
bro, did you just spit? That's what I'll be saying. And that's another thing, bro, why I don't really go in pools. I don't really like, because, bro, people be pissing in pools. You swallow that water full of piss. Ugh. You swallow that water full of piss. I don't like going to public pools, bro, honestly, bro. You know, I'm good, bro. Next pool I get in, bro, gotta be my pool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for people to be pissing. People be pissing, spitting in pools, bro. You be, that jump be getting in your mouth and you be swallowing that piss and spit.
Milton called to his son that he was getting out. Steven lifted his head, acknowledged his dad, and continued to look underwater.
Now imagine you, you know, swallow that. You in the water swallow. Imagine that, bro. You got your mouth open and you just gulp the spit, the waste, all that junk, bro, going down inside you, bro.
See the sandy bottom of the sea.
That's what I'm getting oceans, bro. I'm getting
An occasional fish swam past. He bobbed up and down, occasionally diving to pick up shells from the seafloor. The water was slightly murky, but the sunlight still penetrated the shallow seas. Stephen lifted his head above the water to check how close he was to the shore. As he did so, he noticed something out of the corner of his eye. He looked and saw a large fin coming towards him. In a panic, he turned and began swimming to the shore as quickly as he could. He frantically kicked his legs, his fins propelling him through the water at speed. He pulled with his arms, splashing the surface. Then he felt something that terrified him. He felt a sudden and powerful tug on his leg. He screamed out for his father, "Dad, shark!" His father heard Stephen's cries. He turned back to the water just in time to see his 10-year-old son being dragged underwater. He dropped the inflatable mattress and sprinted into the sea. Stephen was only about 25 feet from the shore.
And bro, that's how love is, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't care if my son is getting attacked by a lion. You know what I'm saying? I'm jumping in front of that lion, bro. I swear, bro, love will make you do some of the craziest things. Like, you would not care about your life, bro. Like, that's just me. I don't know about y'all, bro, but for me, like, if it was like my mama, my brother, you know, somebody I truly love, bro, it's like I'm not thinking about dying. I could care less about dying. You know what I mean? Honestly, bro. You feel me? Love is a dang. You see how bro running into that sea, man, after them sharks? I don't give a dang, bro. If you got, I don't care if it's a great white shark. I'm diving right into that freaking pool, into that ocean, excuse me, and going after my son, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Love, bro, I can give a dang. You know what I'm saying? I can give a dang, bro, about a lion. I don't give a dang what you is. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Jay jumping in front of that.
Milton dived in, powering through the water towards the commotion.
See how he's swimming? I'm swimming just like that.
From the shore, Milton dived
I'm swimming just like that.
Powering through the water towards the commotion.
I'm gonna fight off a great white shark.
A shark's fin come for him too.
Oh! I ain't gonna lie, when that would happen, oh son, I love you! Yeah, you know, it's to an extent though, chat. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? To an extent. When I see something going after me, I ain't gonna lie, I'm done. You know what I mean? Son dead. I love you, son. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real with you. That wasn't part of the plan. You know, the plan, the thing was you was getting attacked. Now I'm finna get attacked. You know, one better than two. You know what I mean? You dead and I'm dead. Oh, nah. Can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. I would have swum back immediately. You know what I mean? I would have swum back immediately. Right when that fin would have came straight at me, when I see another shark, oh, he dead. There's nothing I can do. Maybe that's just his time to go. You know what I mean? Maybe I ain't supposed to interfere with this right here. Maybe it's just his time to go right now. You know what I mean?
The commotion. He saw a shark's fin come for him too. He ducked underwater and braced himself. As he saw the dark figure emerge from the murkiness, he waved his arms around in front of him. It seemed to work. The shark veered away at the last second. Milton popped back up and saw his son resurface, coughing and spluttering. Stephen felt a tremendous pain in his back as he was bitten again. The shark thrashed about, tossing Stephen from side to side in the water. He fought back. He whacked the shark on the nose, desperately trying to grab it and force it away from him.
Yeah, bro, when they smell that blood, bro, they don't feel nothing. Like, when they smell that blood, they go harder. You know what I mean? And I told y'all seen how the other sharks start coming? You know what I mean? All they're going to do is keep coming and coming. They smell that blood now, so all they're going to do is tag team you. You know what I mean? So best believe one shark, another shark finna come right after that. And then another one finna come right after that. Because they smell that blood. And all they care about is blood.
But the force of the shark was too strong. As Stephen's father swam towards him, he noticed another fin, and then another. There was more than one shark. They were in a feeding frenzy. Stephen cried out again. Blood spilled into the water, surrounding him in a dark cloud. The commotion had alerted people on the beach. Other swimmers ran from the water in a panic. A large crowd stood at the edge of the sea as Milton shouted for Stephen to swim towards him. Stephen tried desperately to make his way toward his dad, but he felt another crunch as a shark bit his backside, clamping down with its powerful jaws around his buttocks. Thomas Fletcher, a member of the public who was about 60 feet away, heard the screams and saw the commotion in the water. He grabbed a nearby surfboard and immediately started paddling towards the young boy. He initially thought Stephen was half sat on an inflatable boat, but then he realized the gray object next to the boy was actually the back of a shark as it arched out of the water right next to Stephen. Although the attack only lasted a few minutes, it felt like a lifetime for all those involved. Steven was fighting to keep above the water. He was losing blood, and the sharks were coming back for more. When Thomas reached Steven and his dad, he tried to grab Steven onto the surfboard, but the boy's hands were slippery. Steven's left arm was bleeding profusely. Bright red blood spilled down his outstretched arm and spurted into the surrounding water. Thomas managed to haul the 10-year-old onto the surfboard and paddled towards the shore. He clamped his hand around Steven's open wound, trying to stem the bleeding. Milton helped to push the surfboard to the beach and toward the waiting crowd. Retired Navy officer Robert McClintock spotted the scene unfolding from 200 feet away. He ran to the shallows as Steven was being pushed back to safety on the surfboard. He immediately applied pressure to Steven's wounds and took charge of the situation. They laid the boy on the beach, wrapping clothing.
I'm surprised he got up out of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he got up out of that, bro. The sharks let him go. I ain't gonna lie, I did some videos, man. Sharks, man, drag you, man, to the bottom of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. That was an alligator or a crocodile, though. I ain't gonna lie, you dead. They gonna drag you down. Like, they not letting go. You know what I mean? So just thank God that the sharks let go, bro. You know what I mean? Hopefully he survived. You know what I mean?
Towels around his gaping wounds and tying them as tightly as they could. A can of ice-cold beer was applied to Steven's forehead and warm blankets placed over his body. The ambulance had been called and was on its way. When Robert had wrapped all of Steven's injuries, he and some others lifted the boy onto an inflatable bed and carried him to the approaching ambulance. Steven was rushed to hospital and was receiving treatment from surgeons within 20 minutes of the attack. Speed was key to saving Steven's life. The quick thinking of those who witnessed the attack ensured he was pulled from the water and treated as quickly as possible. Steven said that the attack was painful. He was bitten at least 4 times. The shark's teeth had sliced into his arm, leg, buttocks, and back. He described feeling a crunch as the shark bit him. But as adrenaline surged through his body, the youngster was able to withstand the pain. He spent a week in St. Mary's Hospital, West Palm Beach. His open wounds were stitched closed. Witnesses who remained on the beach after the attack saw several sharks splashing in the blood trail that Steven had left behind. His surgeons pulled teeth fragments from his bite marks, which were identified as belonging to a silky shark. These sharks were common in the area. Eyewitnesses also identified the species of shark splashing about in the shallows as looking like a silky. Although there had definitely been more than one shark man. Steven, it is thought that only one was responsible for the attack, although some claim to have witnessed multiple sharks biting Steven. The shark responsible for the bites.
Ain't no way multiple sharks was biting this man. He survived. Ain't no way, bro. Nah, I mean, ain't no way. Like 7 sharks, 5 sharks. You telling me multiple sharks was biting this man? He survived, bro? Nah, that's a 1 shark attack. That's
estimated to be about 9 feet long, judging by eyewitnesses.
The man survived, chat.
The size of the fin.
He survived!
Protruding through the surface of the water. The shark had caused significant damage to Steven and left him with limited mobility in his left arm and hand. He was lucky to be alive. An inquiry was opened into the actions of the teenage anglers. Their careless behavior, baiting the water with the deliberate intention of attracting sharks within close proximity to a swimming beach, was under scrutiny. The property owners and local communities were also accused of negligence. This is because they had not warned swimmers of the dangers or provided adequate protection, such as nets, fences, or shark deterrents in the area. It is not known what the outcome of these legal challenges were. It is incredible that Steven survived his shark attack. Although he has life-changing injuries, the quick action of those around him and the ability to get to a hospital within minutes all helped to ensure his survival. No one can blame the shark for its attack. It had been attracted to the area and was searching for prey near the beach. The murky water may have also contributed to its misidentification of Steven, leading the silky to attack. Thankfully, he was surrounded by the right people to help him in an emergency, and he lived on to remember the day he almost met his unfortunate final affliction.
Yeah, man. So, you know, the best thing for y'all to do is stay the freak out the ocean. You know what I mean? That's the best thing for y'all to do. it's to stay the freak out the ocean. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know, for me. And, you know, when I was little, man, I used to go deep, 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 deep down. I'm talking about y'all deep down the ocean, man. You know what I mean? I told y'all, I made up something in my head. Made up something in my head, bro, that they had a freaking gate protecting us from the animals, from the sharks. So I used to go deep down. Cause I told you, I swim like a fish, bro. You know what I mean? So I used to think when I go to the beach, they had like this type of gate between us and them. You know what I mean? I just made that junk up in my head. But once I started seeing shark attacks, and once I started realizing that, you know, they don't have no gate. You know what I mean? That the sharks, you know what I mean? The sharks can come up at any time and attack. Once I started realizing that, I ain't touched that beach ever since. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I ain't touched that beach ever. I enjoy sand. You know what I mean? I enjoy the sand, bro. And, you know, I ain't gonna lie. That's a good place to take a